So I've been doing this thing lately. I'm really tired. I don't really want to talk about it because I'm tired, but I think it's a good thing to talk about. To tell you about whatever. I have been doing this sort of symbiotic practice here where I'm using a lacrosse ball to break up the tension of my back, right? And I didn't even realize. I mean, I knew it was tense. That much I knew, and I have been for a long time, and I've known that about my back and my neck and stuff like that. But like, kind of realizing the reason my back tweaks out the way it does is because my back's already so rigid that when there's more tension put in there, like that's what my theory on it. It's my theory. I don't know if it's true. It's my theory. But I was breaking up this tension with a lacrosse ball, and like it's really, it's like a foam roller, right? Like when you first go on, it hurts, and you gotta kind of go back and forth until the muscle loosens up. But it's like a very more targeted place, right? And I got it there good, guys. I got it there good. The first time though, like I definitely that part of my body was not used to getting blood flow. So it's like, so yeah, that was interesting. But, and it was a little tender after the first. I think I probably overdid it the first time, but at the same time I felt it all breaking up, and it felt so good. It was like breaking up, but it's also melting. Like, it'd be like the ball's there, and then the muscles around it, right? And it's like, and then all of a sudden it just kind of like, just kind of melted the tension. And I think in doing that, I'm freeing up a lot of my, again, theory, my energy system here, because I feel like I'm also at the same time, I am working on perceiving the world from when you're in the seat of self, right? That's what I'm kind of situated in the seat of self. And I don't know if that's where I'm at, but I'm getting more and more successful at kind of realizing my body is a body that I'm experiencing rather than a body that I am. Like, it's interesting. It's a really interesting thing to think about. Like, I kind of think, I don't know, it's interesting. But one of the things that I was kind of thinking about was, as I'm getting this tension broken up and melting away, something occurred to me, not yesterday, the day before. I was kind of just thinking about where my mind was at, and I was kind of freaking out a little. A little bit of a panic attack. just a little one though. not an all out. This one was okay. But I was kind of writing, and I compared the feeling of what was going on with a little child. I don't remember exactly, but it was like a little child in a dark closet who was afraid to come out because she would get hurt. And I was like, oh wow, that's kind of funny. It's kind of, it's a little specific, but it's still telling a story. And I was like, no, no, that happened to me, and a couple of times, where I thought, where I thought that if I was hiding in the dark in a closet, and the person looking for me couldn't find me there, even though they were looking straight at me, because I was kind of all crunched up in the back, and I had it was like a linen closet, so I had all towels and blankets and stuff on top of me, and I was in the back, and she would open it up. The person who was trying to find me would open it up, and she would look down and just look right at me, and I was like, oh my god, she never saw me, she never found me. But that's where that came from. right? And I've just been a bit more aware of that and thinking, like, I think that this morning it just occurred to me, like, a lot of the tension of my back feels like, I don't remember what I said. That was in my mind, that I had thought about that the other day. And then as I was lying there, like, loosening the muscles and kind of breaking up the tension, I was thinking about how long some of this tension has been in there. You know, I mean, like, I've been at that tension, it's been like that for a long time. And, you know, it's still gonna take some work to habituate my muscles to feeling this way. Like, so in the morning, every morning I'm using it, like, I can feel it kind of tense back up, but, like, so anyway, a lot of the stuff, it was kind of, some of it was, you know, the deeper, I was getting deeper into it, and it was really, I was able to get deeper into it, and that it was harder to get those muscles to let go than it was, like, the ones on the outer side. I mean, it's still on the inside, but on the inner outside, or the outer inside, that area. And then whereas, like, the sort of the deeper ones were harder to get to, like, okay, so I had to spend some time rolling on them to finally let go. And I got a lot of places in my back, my neck, to let go. But there's this, like, and I did it. It was interesting because I was like, it was strange. All these things kind of came together because I've heard people say something like this before, but then it made sense to me. Where, like, you're saying, like, to those parts of your body, like, for me, these tense parts of my body that I would be, like, kind of focused on, be like, I know you're tired. I can feel how tired you are. Thank you so much for protecting me the way that you did. You were here when I needed you. You don't need to be here anymore. You know, you can go. You can turn into joy, turn into peace. And I was just kind of like, I know this is kind of weird, but kind of talking to each one of the little points of tension, like, you know, thank you. Thank you for, you know, being here and protecting me, and, you know, and just being kind to it and compassionate with it. And, like, hey, if you want to leave, you can leave. I think you want to leave. I think you'll be more comfortable. But it's okay if you're here. You know, like, well, you know, eventually you'll figure it out. You'll feel good enough that you'll be able to go. It's okay. But I was being really, really kind to myself. And then I kind of did some, like, what I imagined to be chakra clearing stuff. Like, just thinking about the energy system and kind of feeling around, like, well, where in my body can I still feel blockages? And I was feeling these blockages that I'm sure were both physical, but also this feeling of kind of like where things were stuck in the energy field. And I just kind of just really focused as much as I could. It was interesting. It was really interesting. Like, at one point I turned over on my side and I kind of got into similar position. This sounds crazy, I know. I was in a similar position as I was when I was a kid in a closet, like on my side, you know, and with, but imagining that the person on the other side was someone who was loving and, you know, saying, it's okay, you can come out now. It's okay. So I kind of pictured that, and as I did, like, I extended my astral arm out to the person, and I really think I felt a lot of this negative energy kind of like disintegrate. And it kind of hung out around here for a while. I had to kind of like, right. So as I was breaking this tension up and allowing it to sort of leave my body, I don't know, I was able to sense like the tension in sort of, like I was saying, my astral body, right? Like, and as I did that, I just sort of fought and just felt kind of focused on what was feeling tight and what was still feeling blocked. I think kind of opened up my system a bit, forgiving myself, having a lot of compassion for all the blockages that were in there. Oh, hey, Jeremiah. Hope you're doing well. So, yeah, I was really being very compassionate with the blockages I could feel, and, you know, just like hanging out with them. I'm like, hey, you're cool, you know, thanks for sticking around. You've helped me. Thank you very much. You don't have to hold on anymore. You know what I mean? It was funny because some of that tension has been there for so long. It's like that thing where, you know, you hold your hand like this for so long and then it's like hard to open it up. I know I've said this before, but that's what it feels like, right? Getting that tension, and then it clenches right back up when it's like, oh wait a second, no, like we're letting loose, danger. So yeah, then it tightens right back up, but I'm working at it. I'm continuing to, like, continuously doing a lot of focusing on that and allowing it to like okay, well, if you're gonna tense right back up, that's okay. Next time maybe you won't tense as quickly. It's okay. Whatever. You know, I love you. You love me. It's great. But I'm just looking at it much more compassionately than I ever have before. Because usually I'm not able to objectify the blockages, right? Because really what they are incidents in my life that I maintained focus on and therefore fixed into my energy field, and then it became like a rotating thing. You know, like it got there and it became like this vortex, kind of just hung out until I kind of went crazy. But not really crazy, but I was suffering, let's just put it that way. But we all get there. We all do that to one degree or another. But because those incidents always usually involved something that I did or didn't do or said or didn't say, there's a lot of those, and I know we all have them, right? There are a lot of those, like, scattered along the journey of my life, like like a very good flower girl, right? But lots of petals, and she just scatters them around, and that's sort of like, as I proceed down my aisle of life, those are like the little weird things that I keep in my head, and keep going back to, just to torture myself. No other reason, none whatsoever, just to make myself feel bad. It's cool. So instead of being like, when my mind goes there, right? When I go to that, whatever that particular incident may or may not have been, you know, it's usually something that I did, and I'm judging myself for it. It could have been 30 years ago, and it could have been, and I still wouldn't have been a child. I mean, okay, I was a child, but an older child. No. Yes. No. Yes. High school was 30 years ago. Beginning of high school was 30 years ago. You know what though? That's just a number. I consider myself as having celebrated my 27th birthday. No, it was like my 15th, 27th birthday that I celebrated this year, so whatever. Anyway, point being, I'd always when I come back to these blockages, when I come back to these memories, I'd always be judging myself. I'm always angry at myself, or embarrassed. I'm always angry. always angry at myself. But the reason for the anger may vary very slightly. It's either like shame, embarrassment, or regret, or just general self-disgust. It's like they're not pleasant. They're not pleasant to go visit. I don't like them, but they keep coming up, right? Like, to the point where I get so involved, and I know I've said this before, but I get so involved with it. Like, my mind is so completely taken away into whatever this memory is that I'm having, that like my body tenses up and I start saying things to soothe myself completely by accident, like not by accident, like I'm not aware of that I'm saying them until I'm most of the way through the words. And they're always like, it's always simple, like it's like I'm okay, or like you're okay, or not all of them are that comforting. Sometimes it's you're so stupid, and then like I don't care. Those are the general. If I think of any other ones, that'll let you know. But those are the ones that I just come out of my mouth when I'm lost in thought, lost in uncomfortable thoughts. So I'm really excited about the idea of getting rid of some of these things. Like, that would be nice. I'm very excited about that idea. So I think one of the things has been, this is like a growth spurt here. One of the things has been that I haven't wanted to let go, which sounds weird, but I don't think that I thought there was another way. Or, I mean, certainly part of it was like I wasn't myself without the pain, right? Who am I if I'm not suffering? That's just funny because I am. I'm still always. I've got the melancholy thing. Anyway. Yeah, I've been scared. I've been scared to let go. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't. But it's because it's something that's different, right? I was so used to holding on to them. This is my mental and spiritual environment that I've created for myself, and while it's not that comfortable, something worse could, even though it sounds like it's better, like freedom, like peace, joy, those things, even though it sounded like that's what I could have if I let go, I still didn't trust it for whatever reason. I don't know. I'm not putting my finger on it exactly. But, yeah. I wasn't ready to let it go, but like, what does that even mean? And that, on the other hand, though, I'm thinking like, oh my God. All right, so I am working on releasing personal preferences as well. So what I was about to just say was like, I lost 10 fucking years of my life. Like, could not that have not happened? Like, 10 years where you're like supposed to be establishing yourself. Great, fantastic. But we're gonna calm down now, right? And we're gonna remember, this is the way it happened. It is reality, whether or not I like it. And the only thing that I can do is use it to help other people, right? So that's the only thing. It's the only thing that's not gonna make me freaking lose my mind when I think about it. But that's not true. I'm working on non-preferences. So anyway, the point is, I know I go all over the place. It's I talked about it last time, whatever. I'm not gonna get stuck in that loop again. So yeah, I've been afraid to where was I? I've been afraid to let it go. without the pain, but who am I without the pain, right? Like, I don't know. My emotional reactions in so many cases came from a place of like not even knowing what to do. And that's I'm becoming more and more aware of when I am given more than one choice or more than two where there's an obvious choice to make. I freeze, right? Like I freeze and I don't know what to do. So when certain situations would come up in my life, where I really didn't know what to do, the only reaction that I could think of was not a good one. It's like, okay, I'll act that way because I don't know how else to act. I don't know what else to do. But I didn't realize it back then. I thought that was just how I am. I didn't realize, like, it's so interesting. Like, when you're in it, you do not realize that there's a different way to be. And if someone tries to tell you that, you will argue yourself into, like, a deeper depression. You will convince yourself more that there's no way out. Fucking sucks. It's terrible. It's terrible. I'm here to tell you that there is, okay? There is. And it's not sugar canes and lollipops, right? Or ice cream and more ice cream. Or French fries. Not together though, that's just gross. But sorry, I just keep getting myself distracted. Letting go of these things. They're old. I was being compassionate with them, then I flipped out about being 30 years out of college. And not college. Let's not think about that. So breaking stuff up, just letting it go, and being more compassionate with myself. Allowing those things that are gonna stick in there to stick in there if they want, but also being like, hold on, I know you're tired. Been there for a while. Damn it, I knew I had a good thought, but then I distracted myself like I always do. You don't know that there's a different reaction, right? There is. And I got such a habituated way of reacting to things that it's hard. I mean, it's true of anybody who's doing personal work, right? Like, we have the reason things are the way they are is because there's a reason. Like, there's a reason. Like, there's a reason I am where I am in my life. There's a big one. So it's not like it resolves itself overnight, right? Like, I mean, it took me years to get to this place, this special place that I'm grateful for. I have a roof over my head. I live in a neighborhood that I absolutely love. I don't want for anything. I've got everything that I need. Just, that whole made-up concept, of man-made concept of money, that makes me feel like I'm running away from a tiger and it's going to eat me. So I was going too many different places with that. So yeah, I think that by doing that, I'm also, I feel like, okay, yeah, so I was able to clear out a lot of stuff. And I feel like from my solar plexus chakra, like I'm kind of between my heart chakra and my solar plexus chakra, like kind of up there, but like whatever. But I think below that, I've been able to get rid of a lot, which is, I mean, it's not all gone. But a lot of it that was there, I think I'm able, it's more the willingness, that's what it was. It's more the willingness to let go, because you don't know that there's the choice. You convince yourself that that's the way it is, and you know, you just don't have a different way to be. And I got myself off the topic again. Something about, I'm so tired. But then I get these ideas, you know, and then I want to share with all of you. And it's a good idea. I just wish that I could stay focused on it. So something about not being, it's the willingness of letting go, right? Because right now I'm like, yeah, I want, this is like the first time I didn't even realize, like I really didn't even realize that I wasn't enthusiastic about letting this stuff go until I was like, yeah, I want this to leave. I don't want this here anymore. I'm willingly going, like these blockages, like the whole feeling like, you know, and realizing that the fear was coming from, you know, the hiding when I was younger, and the fear of coming out and being hurt. And, you know, in my household, it wasn't. I really. I know some of my cousins watch these sometimes, but my mother was just. It was a difficult household. She was very lonely and very annoyed at my father. That's a long other story. I don't know how, like, I feel like I'm a little like this about revealing stuff like that because it's not just me, right? And I don't want to hurt anybody. You know, it was just the way it was. She was unhappy. And I can understand that, especially as an adult, right? Like, I look and I'm like, yeah, I would have been unhappy in that situation too. Yeah, really unhappy. But, you know, that kind of turned to anger towards us. And while it never really took a physical form, there were some definitely emotional and mental things that happened there. But feeling that, having that feeling in my body of being that, just realizing, not even feeling like that little child, but realizing that that was the energy, that was what it was coming from, and then being able to like lie on my side and extend my hand and just allow this negative energy to flow out of my arm, it felt like, you know, and then I was just able to let a lot of it go, which was nice. I'm gonna try and not have expectations about what I think is gonna happen next, because I don't want to like curse myself. But I'm excited. Like things are changing for me emotionally and mentally and spiritually right now, which is really great. And it's the pressure cooker of the soup of the shitstorm that is my life right now, right? But it is happening for me, not to me, and something great is on the other side. I'm just gonna have to trust, because there's nothing I can do about it right now. There's nothing. I mean, I'm taking right action, right? I'm doing everything that I can, but beyond doing everything I can, I don't have control over what's gonna happen, and it's like at those points, right, that you're really like, okay, thank you. I mean, like, clearly I can't handle this. This isn't something I can do. So, hey, universe, you wanna step in here? Because the thing is, like, I've seen her lead me so clearly in my life in the past 2 years. I can't believe it's been a year since when you live in the past, right? Like, things don't seem like they were that long ago when you're thinking about them all the time. But whatever. So letting go of some of this energy, I felt very cleared out from my solar plexus down. I mean, there's still stuff floating around, but did some apologizing to a bunch of different parts of me, you know, and it's just compassion, and that's good. And there's more to get out, but it's a good start. Self-soothing, right? It's okay. So, what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to kind of just trust, because I've seen her work in my life the past 2 years since I restarted my relationship with the universe, right? Like with the cosmic forces and the divine goodness, right? Whatever the God of your understanding is, clearly working in my life since that happened, since I started doing that. Just like, I remember, especially when I was journaling, things just coming out, like all these realizations after realization after realization, and then coming to a point where I must have let go of so many samskaras that energy flowed before more than it has forever. And it was like 3 weeks of euphoria. That was amazing, and I'm trying not to expect that again. That'll be awesome. It'll be really awesome. So I should go to bed though, because I have a lot of things to do tomorrow. And I meditated pretty much most of the the first part of the day, right? A couple of hours. Got up early. So that's really about it. I think I have to tell you. It's just listening to Michael Singer every day. And finally, I'm at this point, and this one's a long one, huh? I'm finally at this point where I'm like, I mentioned the other day, right? Like, I'm listening to the voice in my head telling me what I'm gonna do. Like yesterday, like, well, you're gonna eat the ice cream anyway. So my other thought's like, no, you're not, if you choose not to. My third thought's like, well, you're gonna. So why don't you just give in now rather than have this mental and emotional turmoil? And if you're gonna have it, just enjoy it. Of course I didn't, but I realized I just saw the patterns very clearly, and I know I am at the point where I'm ready to turn this around. I'm turning this around. I'm not gonna follow the patterns again. This is when I break free of them. And it's scary. It's really scary. But it's what's going to happen, because I've been thinking for so long about when I do this, when I do that, when I basically get myself together enough, when I didn't know. I had no idea. I knew that it would happen in the future, but it seemed like it would never happen. And I'd think, oh, when I'm skinny enough, when I'm this, when I'm that, you know what I mean? Like, but never really the idea that I had to do something different, or not that I had to do something. I just didn't know what to do. That's all I knew at that point. That's all I knew. I'd forgotten everything else. How to have any sort of belief in myself. How to follow through on anything, because I didn't respect myself. I'm working on So, lots of realizations. And I'm really grateful that this is the time that I'm breaking the big cycles, right? The big ones, the ones that have really taken me down. And it is terrifying. Got that terror feeling, the burning sensation coming in here, and then I'm down on my stomach. Oh, look at that. Nice, fun. Alright, anyway, I'm gonna go to sleep because I'm tired and it's 2 o'clock in the morning. I have things to do tomorrow. So, thank you everyone for being out there. I hope something I said was useful and that my silence, my long periods of silence weren't too irritating. Like maybe the faces that I made weren't amusing enough. I don't know. I'm hoping that that's at least entertainment. So, yeah, when I'm thinking, I make faces. I get caught up in it. But now I'm really focused on being aware. And it's happening more and more, and I'm going to keep practicing. I'm going to get better and better at it. So, good night, everybody. And I'm grateful for the shitstorm that is my life right now, because I wouldn't be getting liberated if it weren't for that. So, and I mean, some people's definition of shitstorm is other people's definition of not a big deal, but for me, there's a lot going on in every aspect of my life, every single one. But at least the spiritual and emotional ones are good. That's literally the most important thing. So, you know, tough things to be going well. That would be the one I would want. So, aces. But I'm just gonna remind you guys that if I'm grateful for my shitstorm, you too can always choose to have a grateful night.